something to say. From the draft to the Stanley Cup, if you love the game, turn it up.
McDavid, McKinnon, and Beddard.
All of the players of high regard,
We'll cover them all and not just the stars.
report on every play fit for a memoir.
Every moment the passion's real. From the puck drop to OT thrill. We're talking hockey, we always will. BarDown, let's go!
Oh, 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 BarDown, talking hockey. Oh, 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 BarDown, talking hockey. Oh, 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 oh,
BarDown, talking hockey.
oh, 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 oh,
BarDown, talking hockey.
What's up and welcome back to BarDown Talking Hockey, episode number 218, presented by the Barroom Network. It is the home of everything relating to the greatest sport in the world, the sport of hockey. My name is Vinny Parisi, and I don't know what I believe. And this right here, this is Frankie Mueller, and he is the king of all beans. Bean?
How you doing, VP?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Like your hat.
Thank you.
It's the first time I've seen it, but it's probably not new.
It is brand new.
Is it?
Sticker's still on it.
Oh. That's
Yep.
That's
The
nice.
sticker, I actually meant to take the sticker off before the show, but now it stays.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an Olympic Team USA hat. It'll go well with the Jack Hughes jersey that is on the way.
All right. Really?
Oh yeah.
Very
yeah.
nice.
He scored the golden goal wearing white.
I was going to
I
ask
still-
which one you got.
Still picked the blue one
Yeah.
because I don't know. Maybe I'll get a white one again one day.
Listen, a lot of people gravitate towards white. Like, I know when I was younger and I was thinking about getting my first Hawks jersey, a lot of people are like, go with the white Hawks jersey. Go with the white. I like the white. I was always a fan of the colored jerseys, the reds, the black jerseys, any colored jerseys I like more. But a lot of people like the white. So I understand.
Yeah, I have a white Devils jersey, but I actually can't see it right now, which is a little concerning.
I kind of want a white Hawks jersey because I got
Yeah.
a white Hawks jersey. I got a red Hawks jersey. I'm trying to think of any other colors I have, or if they're just all red or black.
No, yeah, the white jerseys are for sure cool and important.
I do own one road jersey. My Montreal Canadiens is white.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
road. It's
That's
a
right.
road jersey.
Yeah, that's right. I have a Devil's Road. I want another one too. The white jerseys are sharp. You got to be careful what you wear underneath them.
Yeah.
That's why I went with the blue one.
Not only that, but like it's more prone to spillage and dirt and things, if you're
Yeah.
out.
I just remembered the Devil's Reverse Retro is white too. The second one.
Mhm.
And I have that, Jack Hughes. I would make it. Everyone wants white at home. Everyone's clamoring for white at home. I would rotate by year, or I would do it by the way the AHL does it. The first half of the season's color at home, the second half of the season's white. You give everyone everything. I think if you do every year, though, season ticket holders will get to see every team's white jersey and every team's color jersey if they have season tickets.
That's a good point.
The other night, the Blackhawks wore their black sweaters in Vegas against the Golden Knights, who were wearing their white roads. That was awesome. That was so cool. And then I also think when you can use your brain to determine when both teams can wear their colors. And I think those are sharp matchups. When the Rangers and Red Wings did it.
Didn't that happen recently?
Yeah, the Ducks and the Kings did it this year, black and orange. It's cool. And all the NHL, the teams have to submit it, and the NHL says yes or no. And most of the time they say yes because the teams aren't dumb about what would be said no. If the Bruins were playing the Kings and they both wanted to wear their homes, they would say no, that's stupid.
No, right.
If Nashville and Pittsburgh wanted to wear their alternates in Nashville's home jerseys, they would say no. Like,
Right.
It's common sense. So I don't know. That's a completely irrelevant conversation.
Common sense goes a long way, VP, in a lot of different things. sense.
It really does. Well, Frank, we're going to talk about some not so common things going on with the Chicago Blackhawks right now in period number 1. Frank, over the weekend, the Boston University Terriers were eliminated from the Hockey East tournament in the NCAA conference championships, and they're not going to the NCAA tournament as a result.
Nope.
They needed to win Hockey East to earn a bid in the NCAA tournament. They did not do that. Their season is over. The next day, the star defenseman on their team, Cole Hudson, signed his entry-level deal with the Washington Capitals. And then I got a little wind that Sasha Boisvert was going to sign with the Chicago Blackhawks. But I also, a little birdie told me that he missed his flight to Chicago due to all the weather that was going on that day. And he would get his NHL deal signed on Monday. And then he would have to start the visa process. He was on a student visa. Now he needs a work visa. That has started. I was told by a source today that he will not play tomorrow against the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota. That kind of sets up a home debut on Friday against the Colorado Avalanche. We will know more from his people that handle that paperwork today. There will be an update later today. But Sasha Boisvert is officially a member of the Chicago Blackhawks on paper, just needs to clear a work visa. This is a really good move for them.
It is. I'm excited. He had a really good freshman year in college a couple years ago with North Dakota, too. He had 18 goals and 14 assists in 37 games. When he transferred to BU, I mean, he didn't have as much as an offensive impact with the team. He only had 3 goals and 14 assists in 11 less games in 26 games. But, I mean, don't let those stats fool you by any means. He was taken 18th overall for a reason. He has a nasty shot. I think that shot's going to translate well to the NHL level. It's got such a quick release. It catches a lot of the opposition off guard, right? And center depth down the middle will be a great piece the Blackhawks can add. He's also very physical. This is a guy who was suspended for fighting in college. So if Boisvert can learn to play a two-way game at the NHL level down the middle, hopefully he develops into a top 6 forward for the Blackhawks, which would just help them tremendously during this rebuild. I'm excited. I wish he was playing tomorrow. Hopefully he plays Friday.
I get Marcus Kruger vibes from his style. Just a solid depth player. He's going to come in and hit hard. And Jeff Blashill literally said yesterday, he wasn't like implying that the team is soft, but he was implying that not too many people like are throwing their weight around too often. Mm-hmm. The only people who did with any regularity were Dickinson, Foligno, and Doc. What do all three of them have in common? They're Gonzo. Landon Slaggert and Sam Lafferty do to an extent, but they hardly get any ice time.
Yeah.
So they're not creating a consistent, hard-hitting game due to the lack of time that they spend actually playing. So, and listen, I don't think Boisvert is going to come in and get a whole lot of minutes either, but I do think being a young spark plug, even if he plays 8 minutes a game, which is probably roughly what he'll do in the first couple games at least, he'll go out there and lay a big hit. He'll have that youthful exuberance. He'll take the rookie lap. He's going to wear number 12. He's the first player to wear number 12 since Alex DeBrincat wore it from 2018 to 2022. Not too many other notable number 12s when I was doing the research for that stat. I did notice that for 15 games in 2001, 2002, New Jersey Devils general manager Tom Fitzgerald wore number 12 for the Chicago Blackhawks for 15 games. So that was an interesting stat that I came across when I was looking up who was the last to wear 12, because I knew DeBrincat wore 12, but I couldn't think if any of those depth players that they had during like 23, 24, 25, if one of them slipped on 12 for 10, 15 games or whatever. But no, it was Alex DeBrincat, the last to wear the number. So Boisvert is going to come in. I don't know if he'll play center or wing off the bat. I'm assuming he will get run at both. I think the fourth line with who would that be with? It would be with Landon Slaggert and maybe Nick Lardis on the fourth line.
Do you think he'll develop into a top 6?
I'm skeptical on top 6. It's just Like, who you taking out?
Well, I'm
Long
not
term,
not
like,
not now, but like
yeah, long
down the
term.
line.
Long term, I think you hope that in the top six.
I hope at least middle six at the very least.
Well, I think a third line center, or even
I'll
a
take
fourth
that.
line center would be good. I mean,
I really like this kid's shot. He's got
they've
a really
drafted
nice shot.
so many young players early in drafts, though. Like, let's assume you got Bedard and Nazar down the middle, right?
Mhm.
Or yeah, okay, you got Bedard and Nazar down the middle. Well, you want to project that Anton Frondel will play wing on one of those top two lines.
Mhm.
Is there a world where he's the third line center in like a William Karlsson type role? Yes, there is, but I think mostly they want that shot playing with Bedard. I mean, Frank, we talk about those guys who have one timers from the circle,
Oh, I
and it
know.
just looks different. Like Zibanejad for a while, Tage
Yeah.
Thompson.
Yeah.
You know, Anton Frondel might have one of those, and so you got him. There's a lot of people that think that Nick Lardis could be a top six winger. I'm not positive about top six, but I definitely think they sign one. Or they sign a big time center and Nazar moves to the wing. So, you know, just overall, my thought is that there's a lot of possibilities to be in the top six going forward. You don't know who's going to be on the team. Is Roman Kantarov going to come
Oh,
over?
brother.
And I mean, he's breaking like
I was gonna
Kaprizov
talk
records
about
in the
him, yeah.
KHL. He's in the top six over Boisvert long term.
Oh, 100%. hopefully.
Like, you know, so is he going to, am I locking him into the top six? No, I'm not.
But
Because
he could.
there are only 6 spots, and realistically, there are only 3. He has to take one of 3 spots, basically. Because Bedard, Nazar, Frondel, top 6. I think Kantarov is there.
Oh, I do too.
So that's 4. Now you're down to 2 spots for Boisvert. They're gonna sign someone. I don't know who. There is a big move coming for the Chicago Blackhawks soon. I don't know if it's this summer. I don't know if it's next summer. They got a lot of cap and a lot of space. If that were true, that leaves 1 spot for Boisvert in the top 6. I think third line center, third line wing, even if he's a high end fourth line center, you have a really good team because then you could run 4 lines. Each of them is getting 12 minutes at least. That's how Stanley Cups are won.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yes, I think Boisvert is going to be an important piece for a long time.
I totally agree. There's a lot of guys I could talk about too. If we're gonna move forward to our next point on the sheet, who's next for the Blackhawks? Should we just touch on that now? Should we just go straight into it?
Yeah.
Because, like, first of all, I want to talk about Roman Kantarov, right? We talked about him last week in his contract with his current KHL team. Remember, we said we didn't know his path to the NHL. Well, I did some digging. His current KHL contract is going to expire at the end of this season, which the last day of the regular season is May 20th. And I think the last day of his contract is technically May 31st, 2026. But by that time, obviously, the Blackhawks regular season will have come to an end, which means there's a 0% chance we see him this season. But I believe that they will sign him over the summer. He is the most NHL ready prospect they have. And like you said, he's breaking records over in the KHL. I have no doubts we're going to see him in a Blackhawks jersey next year. Another guy for the Hawks, Vaclav Nestrasil. He's a bit further from making his NHL debut, but he's been having a good season with UMass. In fact, he was named Conference Rookie of the Week after he had a goal and 2 assists against Northeastern in their quarterfinals matchup. Another guy that the Blackhawks have, Marek Vanacker, is another name. I think we would see him play sooner rather than later. He signed his ELC 2 seasons ago. And his final year of his ELC with the Blackhawks is this upcoming season coming up. So he's tearing up the OHL right now. He's got 44 goals, VP. I think Vanacker could be a very impactful middle 6 guy forward in the future. I see a strong future with him and the Rockford Ice Hogs to start, but Vanacker is going to be a great piece for the Blackhawks. He's got over 100 OHL goals in his career. I cannot wait for him to make his NHL debut. And then how about, I wasn't even going to talk about this until I saw this guy lighting up the OHL as well. 3rd round Blackhawks pick, Jack Pridham. He leads the OHL in goals. I didn't realize that till this morning. I mean, all those guys I named, combining with the fact that the players they already have and have been developing, VP, they got some great young prospects.
Yeah, and I just want to address Tom's comment about Kruger. Boisvert's way more physical than Kruger. I didn't mean the same type of player. I meant the same type of role on the team in terms of he's not going to be one of the star players. Kruger was a very important piece to the Blackhawks teams that won in 13 and 15. I meant like a bottom 6 center that could also play wing, who brings different elements other than scoring to the lineup. So that's kind of where I was going with that. Obviously, Kruger was only good for less than 20 points a season. I mean, I don't know if Boisvert's ceiling is higher than that.
I hope I have higher.
But you just named all those players.
I named like 4 or 5 high-end prospects at the Blackhawks.
They're not all going to play for the Blackhawks.
No, but what I'm saying is they have so many options, so many great options.
Also, Boisvert's not a lock long-term to play for the Blackhawks. He could be traded for a player. He's one of those guys who go in trades. So, you could project the future all you want. Yeah, I do think if he sticks around, he will have a role on the team. But, you see prospects get sent around all the time. So, let's say somebody becomes available. Let's say Jason Robertson is someone that Kyle Davidson targets this summer. Boisvert might be a part of a package like that. Kantarov might be a part of a package like that.
But that's the good thing. They have the pieces for a package.
They might have the best available pieces for packages.
It's unbelievable.
In the NHL.
It is unbelievable, VP.
Yeah, and Pridham, cool story was he was supposed to go to BU, and he just loved his teammates with the Kitchener Rangers so much that he decommitted from college. I think he still could go back to college. And guess what, guys?
He's going there.
They're going to have a top 5 pick again. So they could easily bring in another person, whether it be Tynan Lawrence. We'll see if they win the lottery. A guy like Gavin McKenna, obviously, who has reemerged as the clear number 1 draft pick. But, people like Ivar Stenberg, Keaton Verhoff. We haven't even touched on any of the defensemen. We've only talked forwards. Rinzel and Levchinov have been good since the Olympic break. Wyatt Kaiser is a stud. Louis Crevier is a stud. The fastest goal or the fastest shot to go in the net this season.
2 miles per hour, VP.
Yep, he broke the previous
mark. It
mark.
Been like 102.1 or something.
It was 102.54.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And it was the fastest shot to go in the net for a goal by any player on any team this season.
We're in the fun era of the Blackhawks. It's fun to watch these guys. Like a few years ago when Bedard, before they drafted him, it wasn't fun. Now we're getting fun, even though they're still bad.
Yeah, and
AJ Spellacy, yeah,
they were crap in overtime.
That's what happens when you can't get the puck. Bertuzzi played like a 2.5 minute shift.
Yeah, and Ryan Green
played like 3 minutes.
I know. Ryan Green, who I think if they don't trade anybody, you could see like a Bedard, Nazar, Boisvert, Green, 1, 2, 3, 4 down the middle. But then where does Oliver Moore fit in? I like Oliver Moore at center better than wing. So he likes it himself. He told me straight to my face he likes playing center.
I love Oliver Moore too.
He likes playing center more than wing. So does he play third line center long term? Does Boisvert play wing? AJ Spellacy is a big man. He's one of those guys who when you're in a scrum with him, you're like, dude. Sup, dude. There was one, talk about a self-esteem killer. I had Ben Pope behind me and Sam Rinzel in front of me. 2 of the tallest mother I've ever seen, and I'm just a shrimp. But Nazar and Lardis aren't that much taller than me, so I have, it helps my self-esteem when they come out.
But look how many great players we mentioned that the Blackhawks have.
Yeah, they're not all going to be there.
No, but they don't have to. That's the brilliant thing about it, VP. That's what I'm saying. You have pieces. The guys you don't use, you have pieces to sell off and trade. But they have it at their disposal. Other teams can't say this. Not every team in the NHL could talk about what
No.
we're talking about, not even close. So it's like it's a breath of fresh air that we have so many. I mean, literally, VP, I'm scrolling through my timeline and I'm seeing guys all over the world in the KHL, the OHL, the Swedish league, Blackhawks prospects lighting it up all over the world. It's beautiful. Like it's unbelievable because we're just not used to it. I've never seen this in my lifetime because in my entire life watching hockey, they were always good. So this is a different, point of view for me watching the Blackhawks and watching them suck. Somebody like Tom's been through it all. He's seen, them be really bad. He's seen them be really good. But for me, this is like, it's honestly beautiful to watch. All these great guys all over the world.
Yeah. Anton Frondell had the overtime game winner for Djurgården in the first round of their playoff series yesterday. And guess they were supposed to get swept. They still might lose a gentleman's sweep. We'll see. Because the team they're playing against is like one of the top teams in the KHL or in the SHL, and they really haven't been all that good at. They've been good enough to make the playoffs, but it's like a 1 seed playing an 8 seed type deal, and they got it to overtime, and Frondell scored. Brilliant stuff, and Kantarov, he scores 2 goals every day. It seems like. We'll see if these guys become part of the top 6. I get a hunch. Nobody has said this to me directly. But I get a hunch Oliver Moore's out for the season. I'm just reading between the lines. It feels like he's donezo. I wouldn't rush back. We're not going anywhere. And it was kind of a tough injury. The funny thing is, it was one of those injuries where he was like actively making an assist while going down. And the puck went in the net. I think it was a Sam Renzel goal against Dallas a couple Saturdays ago. So yeah, it's a good time in Blackhawks prospect land right now. And the current state of the team is keep playing well, keep trying, battling. You battle back from, the first period yesterday against the Wild was straight dog crop. And then they weren't great in the second or the first part of the second period, like the first 3 or 4 minutes. But then they really came on.
The second half of the game was unbelievable.
It was one of the best halves of a game they've played.
They went from 0 to 100 in 30 minutes.
Absolutely. And Spencer Knight keeps them in games.
There's nothing you could do when you can't get the puck for 3 minutes,
Oh, in overtime? Yeah. There were a couple mistakes made in overtime yesterday.
Well, of course.
The coverage of first of all, Matt Zuccarello was just chilling all by himself. And I know 3-on-3 is a little bit different of a defensive scheme, but you definitely don't want to leave Matt Zuccarello in the middle of the ice. In the pass that Marcus Johansson made to him, kind of through the slot, I probably a more veteran Leighton team would probably have done a better job defending Marcus Johansson, but and then Brock Faber sent him in. He had 3 assists, Faber. It wasn't even really the Quinn Hughes show. It was because it doesn't always lead to points. Nobody in the league is better at skating around. And then at the turn of a dime, the puck's on someone else's stick. It's crazy.
In reality, he should be given credit for the win last night. He dictated the whole time they were out there in overtime.
Yeah.
Didn't he leave the ice and then Zuccarello scored?
Yep.
But for the majority, I would give credit to Quinn Hughes in that game on why they won, because he was just dictating the whole overtime, really.
100%. Dude, people are obsessed with the Hughes brothers. It's honestly, they have a cult following online. It's honestly crazy. I tweeted 1 minute of Quinn Hughes doing warm-ups, and it got so much play. Just the girls going crazy for Quinn Hughes. I got the replay. Just the way Bertuzzi defended Johansson. Get a change, bro. Just fucking dead out there. And Green, what is Green doing? They got 2 guys. Faber goes straight to the net, and Green and Levshinov are humping him.
Green had the blues.
A guy scoring a goal whose last name is Green on St. Patrick's Day should have been a lock of the century. A mortal lock. And then Frank Nazar. You might remember when he went like this, the 6-7 thing that was against the Wild in the preseason. And this was their 67th game of the season and it was against the Wild.
We didn't even
Nazar scoring should have been a freaking lock.
we didn't even talk about that. That was probably one of the most beautiful goals the Blackhawks scored this year.
And nobody will. They'll
That
talk
triangle
about it.
from Bedard to Nazar. Oh,
Yeah, it was beautiful, but the best
Oh.
part of the play was the breakout pass by Levshinov.
just the whole thing about it was unbelievable.
Levshinov made like a 60-foot pass through the middle of the ice to Bedard, who's then in on a 2-on-1 with Nazar, and he puts it home. Go back and watch the play, and specifically keep your eye on Levshinov. It's brilliant. That's like stuff like, oh, that's why
it really was.
he was the number 2 pick. Yeah, it's a good time. They got a lot going for them. I'm looking through my Twitter is my Blackhawks notes, basically. I basically write them so that I have stuff to mention. But yeah, the Crevier shot. There's Green's goal. Nice little pass by Nazar to even send Crevier in the attacking zone. Nick Foligno. Traded, comes back. Pretty good reception for a guy that's only been on the team for 3 years.
Yeah. Nick Foligno. I give him a lot of respect. I there's no reason for him not to be loved as a Chicago Blackhawks fan. I mean, he was brought in to do exactly what they brought him in to do, to lead, to be a captain, and they did that. And his time's up. It's a passing of a torch, but yeah, really good reception for a guy who hasn't been there that long.
Do you remember who was the captain before Taves?
We've talked about this before, and I don't remember the guy's name. And when you say it, I'll be like, yeah, no duh.
I'm almost positive 2 guys shared it. It was Martin Lapointe.
Home and away?
I don't know if it was home and away, but it was Martin Lapointe and Adrian Aucoin. And I know, especially in the case of Adrian Aucoin, those young players on that team who turned out to be the stars that won cups, they gave a lot of credit to those times. And so I do wonder if in 10, 15, 20 years, hey, do you remember who the captain was before Bedard? It wasn't Taves. No, it was actually Nick Foligno.
Yeah.
And, he played a key role. Those guys love him. You bring them up in the locker room and they just smile.
No offense. It'll probably be forgotten that Foligno was a captain.
A little bit,
Yeah,
like Adrian Aucoin.
100%.
Maybe they don't win a cup. Maybe Patrick Kane isn't as good of a pro long-term if he doesn't have Adrian Aucoin. I don't know.
Especially if the younger folks who's getting into hockey right now are watching the Blackhawks. I mean, they're not gonna remember Nick Foligno. They're gonna remember Bedard. And if Bedard's the captain and they go on to be contenders and maybe win a cup or 2 or whatever the case may be, I'm almost positive none of these younger folks are gonna remember Nick Foligno. We will, but the newer generation watching Blackhawks hockey, no, he'll be forgotten.
Yeah. Jason Dickinson, Connor Murphy, all guys that wore letters during the rebuilding years. That's important stuff. So credit to him. I'm glad he got a pretty decent ovation. It was nothing like Taves, obviously. I mean, you win cups, you're going to be revered in a certain way that is kind of unparalleled to others. But it was a nice little ovation for Foligno. I was happy he got to have that. Marcus is still week to week. Hopefully he gets back soon. I want to see them play together on the same.
Yeah, yet to play together.
Absolutely. All right, Frank. Well, let's touch on some of these NHL standings quickly in period number 2. Period 2, Frank. The standings in the NHL are banana lands.
They really are.
The New Jersey Devils have no chance of making the playoffs, but they have more wins, or the same number of wins as the Pittsburgh Penguins, who sit 13 points ahead of them. Lose your games in overtime. You still lose.
The loser points, it's important, though.
Yeah. In a year like this, though, I question why it exists.
No, I get it. And
it's not a Devils thing. The Capitals are screwed by it, too. So is Philly. So is Florida. Florida has 1 less win than the Penguins. And they have 14 less points.
You think it'll ever get changed?
No, I could see maybe one day.
Like the 3-2-1-0.
3-2-1, yeah.
That change in that way. I'm not saying you lose in overtime, you get no points, because I don't think that'll ever happen. If it gets changed, I think it would be the 3-2-1 system. But but I don't know. I still think we're far off a little bit from that.
Are the Sharks having a good season in your opinion?
In my opinion, yeah, they are.
Are the Devils?
And that's the crazy thing because I would say no.
They have the same number of points.
I know. It's just it's funny because the races in the West and East are close, but both divisions are so far from each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. The Devils would be 1 point out
Yeah.
in the West.
That's what I mean.
They are 12 points out in the East.
I
And
do
listen,
partially
they have warts. Jack got hurt at Chicago Cut in November. Inconsistent play from Dougie Hamilton basically from the start. Bratt has had a strange year goal scoring wise. The assists are there, but the goal scoring's not. Heischer's the opposite. He's got his typical goal scoring pace. The assists are down. The goals for as a team are down. Markstrom hasn't played that well in goal. There's issues. I'm not acting like they're this playoff worthy team that's screwed by the system. It's just my point of bringing it up is to not overreact to it over the summer. You don't got to trade a core piece because this year was weird and you lost all your games in regulation. They have 2 overtime losses. They win it basically every time they go to overtime because when you have Jack and Nico rotating at center and then the wingers just all rotate in and out, Brad, Meyer, Cotter, Mercer, they're going to score. But yeah, it's crazy to me how they have more wins than Vegas.
It's crazy how 2 teams that are playing nearly the exact same could look so different just because of the conference they're in. I also put part of the blame on the Avalanche, the Stars, and the Wild because of how dominant they be. They're just sucking up all the points in the Western Conference, and they play those Western Conference teams more, and they're just beating on them. Whereas, like, the East is a little bit more wide open, so I think that's why the standings, kind of look like that, and it's more competitive from head to toe.
The East is a better conference.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's more competitive from head to toe, and
the top teams in the West are better than the top teams in the East. Yeah, we agree. I mean, they don't have just 1 more win than Vegas either. They have 3 more wins than Vegas.
Well, I mean, Vegas
make me puke.
Vegas is horrific right now.
31, 23, and 14. I mean,
that's a good record too. Like that's a good record. I'd sign up for that, right? Like it's not bad.
They're one of those teams. There's similar to the Devils. There's expectations, and when
they've never been bad. They have not have a bad year. Even the year they missed the postseason, they didn't have a bad year. They missed it by a point.
Yeah, and that year in November, they traded for Eichel, but he was out for the season.
Right.
They knew what they were trading for, though, and they were kind of admitting that they're punting on the season by trading for Eichel.
Exactly. So you're right. The expectations because they've never been bad.
Yeah, and then they won the Cup the following year.
It's crazy.
Edmonton, 34, 26, and 9, tied for first in the Pacific, but they're going to be without Draisaitl. Elliot Friedman changed the narrative a little bit today.
I saw what he said today.
He might return at the end of the regular. Yeah. That makes me consider not dropping him in fantasy. Like, I was about to.
You're close. It's close.
I know, because isn't the last week 2?
Weeks. Oh, is it still 2?
I think so.
You would, if it's 2 weeks and you made it to the championship, you might have him for the second week of the championship.
Why I think I might just.
Is he on an IR spot though?
No, but he probably will be.
That's the only thing I hate is when it's just out and he's not on an IR spot.
Having Fiala out for the year too, and I just put him on IR instead of dropping him, just because he's been with squad all year. If we were to win a chip, he deserves a ring. But the standings though, Winnipeg still 4 points out, and they still have this easy schedule ahead.
They're not dead.
Oh, they're not. I would say Blues and lower dead.
I got 5 teams competing.
The Blues lately though 7-2-1 in their last 10. If they do that again, then maybe they're 1 point out. I don't know.
I think Utah's locked in at wild card 1. They could go down realistically, but I think they're good enough to hold that lead for the last 15% of the season. And I think there's 5 teams competing for that final wild card spot: Seattle, Los Angeles, San Jose, Nashville, and Winnipeg.
Call who gets it right now.
Los Angeles.
We agree. Yeah.
Seattle's just been, on a decline. San Jose, they needed that win against Edmonton yesterday. That was they needed that so bad,
Yeah.
especially without Leon playing. Like that's your chance.
The-
You want to hang with the big dogs, you got to beat the big dogs.
The breaks are the bottom's falling out, and that's okay for them. Celebrini's going to have 100 points. They're going to be close to a playoff spot. They're not bottom 5. And next year, you gear up and start to really think postseason. The only issue for them, I'm pretty sure only two or one of their defensemen that were on the roster last night. It might be one last night because Muhammad Dulin was a healthy scratch. I think only one of their defensemen last night is signed through next year.
Yeah, it's bad. I didn't know that.
It's bad and good. It's bad because you're going to have to work to get some guys signed, a couple bodies. It's good, though, because they don't have any bad money locked up on defensemen. And that's where money goes to waste the most in the NHL, in my opinion.
You think they're going to make a move then?
It wouldn't shock me. They really like Dickinson. I mean, they took him in the same draft as Celebrini in the first round. And they also they have another high-end defenseman. They really like Misa, who's a forward, obviously, but he'll take a big step next year. He's already kind of starting. But yeah, I like San Jose's future outlook. They'll win a cup in the 2030s. You know who else will win a cup in the 2030s, I think? I'm not guaranteeing it. There's only 10 years. I'm not guaranteeing it for anyone, but it's just a projection that it's possible. Calgary. Really starting to like their farm. Their farm is getting better and better. They've really kind of accepted their fate, and they're going to have a lot of draft picks this year. There are a lot of people who know a hell of a lot more than me even that really like Calgary's future outlook. So you're going to start hearing about them in the coming years. I think they got 1 or 2 more years of being bad. They'll probably add another top 5 pick this year too. I'm happy for them. They're going to get that new building too. That they announced the World Cup of Hockey, which we'll touch on in a second. It's cool, and they're going to want to be a good team once they roll out that building. So, got anything else on the standings that you want to chat about?
I hope we could add the Hawks to that list.
Keep drafting, keep developing.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
No, of course not. It goes fast. You gotta act.
It's gone, man.
Like, I still think the Devils are in the first half of their window, and that they've wasted a year here.
Toronto's in trouble, man.
They're done.
That window's.
It wouldn't shock me if Matthews has played his last game in a Leafs jersey.
That window is.
Yeah. I think they're done. I don't see it fixing over the summer.
And look how quick that went.
It did.
It felt quick to me, at least.
It felt quick. They made the playoffs for 9 straight seasons.
He's been with them forever, but that's what I'm saying. But it felt quick. It blew by.
It goes by quick. It goes by quick. Years. Connor Murphy was a Blackhawk longer than Marian Hossa.
Yeah, I know. That's just crazy.
So it all goes by so fast, man. If you don't win the cup, you almost gotta like accept your losses and move on. If you don't get it there, San Jose did it. Okay, we're not winning the cup with Thornton, Marleau, Pavelski, Couture. Like, it's just not. We were close. We came close multiple times. Only one team wins every year. It was a great era of Sharks hockey. Now we move.
Yeah.
And look at them now. So
thriving.
Calgary had to go through it too. It was a little less in their control. They didn't choose for Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau to leave in free agency, and that started the whole tumbleweed for them. And to their credit, they tried to preserve it for a couple years, but now they've accepted and executed.
Yeah, because they've been well overdue for a teardown there.
Yeah. Speaking of accepted and executed, I took the elevator down yesterday with Ed Olczyk.
Did you?
Very weird experience hearing him just like talk in the elevator.
Talk to him?
I just said hello. He was talking with one of the other PR people too. He's going to Nashville next. Then he's got 2 straight games in Tampa next week. And he was saying that's cool because very rarely in his travel schedule with TNT, with the Kraken, it happens sometimes. Or no, not even really with the Kraken. He doesn't really go to one place and stay there for a while. and he gets to do that in Tampa next week. And he's taking his wife to Vegas for her birthday
Nice.
coming up. So that was the story from him going down the elevator yesterday.
Big baller Eddie.
Yeah, it was. I didn't get to watch it yet. Apparently, on the TNT broadcast, he did a nice tribute to Troy Murray. So I got to get out to watch that.
He said some nice things about him. It was very emotional. He got choked up.
Yeah, I figured.
He was starting to, like, you could tell, starting to cry in his voice.
Yeah.
That was very emotional.
Weird setup. TNT was there, and so was the Wild's broadcast, but not the Blackhawks.
That is weird.
No Rick Ball, no Pang.
Was it being broadcasted in Minnesota? Like,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
on their own station?
Yep.
That's weird.
FanDuel North or whatever it's called
That's
now.
weird.
Yeah, it is strange. But if you wanted to watch it in Chicago,
You had to watch TNT, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. But I think going back to my watching the Zach Parise years, I feel like that happened with the Wild quite a bit, but it doesn't happen with the Devils or the
What?
Blackhawks, where like when it's on national TV, it's also on your local one.
Yeah.
I feel like the Wild always broadcasts, and I know, trust me, I know that their local broadcast also has like a cult following. People love what they do with Kevin Gorg and Anthony LaPanta. I saw Ryan Carter. You remember Ryan Carter?
Yeah.
He was on the Devils for a while, and he was also on the Wild. He's their color guy now or something.
That's a guy, the name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, Ryan Carter, he scored a goal. I went to the Stadium Series game in 2014, 15. No, it might have even been 16. It was 16. Blackhawks Wild in Minnesota. And Ryan Carter scored the first goal of the game on a breakaway. He also scored a goal in the Henrique It's Over game between the Rangers and Devils back in the day. You remember that day?
Yep.
But yeah, that's that. All right, Frank, let's wrap this B up in period number 3. Really quick before we talk suspensions, I forgot to write on there the World Cup of Hockey. It was announced a while ago, but some details were provided on Monday. And Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, the head of the Players Association, it's not Ron Hainsey, he's the assistant. I forget, Mark Walsh maybe. They announced that there's going to be 2 separate groups in the World Cup of Hockey. One of them is going to start and do their group play, the round robin, in Prague, Czechia. The other half is going to be in Calgary, Alberta. And then once they come out of the group stage, they will convene in Edmonton, Alberta, for the semifinal and the championship. I believe the top 2 teams from each group make the semifinal. I could be wrong.
I'm excited. I look forward to stuff like that. It's basically like playoff hockey without it being playoffs, because this means so much for these guys.
Yeah.
It's such a high level of hockey too.
There's one problem. If Russia comes back, who are the other 7 teams?
Do you think Russia will come back?
Yes. I do.
I feel Huh?
If it worked this year, no. But I think by 2028, Russia's probably in.
You would think in 2 years, but
if they are in, there's a huge hockey country that will not be.
So let's go over them. Count them on your fingers. You got
the U.S.,
Russia. Count
U.S.,
Russia.
Canada, Russia,
Sweden,
Finland, Sweden. Those are the big 5.
Yeah.
Those 5 are always in no matter what. When Russia's allowed.
I think you'd have to give it to Czechia. You'd have to, because they're playing. You're hosting a thing.
1,000%. They were a little disappointing in the Olympics, but not really. I made my argument for why they weren't that disappointing.
Honestly, I would say you probably have to have Germany. And that might not even been I don't even know if that was on your radar, but I feel like you'd have to have Germany.
No, they are on my radar. They're one of the teams that could get booted to me. Because Slovakia's in.
What about Latvia?
No Latvia.
You don't think so?
No. Okay, we had the big five, including Russia, the
And
four
then
nations
Czechia.
face-off teams, and Russia, Czechia, Slovakia, Germany, Switzerland.
I think Switzerland's
One of
getting
them got to go.
which is
No way.
I think, and it's no disrespect for Switzerland, man. They're
They
very
made it.
strong.
They made it farther. They made it farther than.
But you're not gonna boot Germany.
I think Germany's in trouble. I also have a solution where none of them have to get booted.
They're not gonna want Leon in there. That'd be crazy.
You can't in 2 years. You can't keep out a better team for Leon. Switzerland was better than Germany by a lot. They were better than most teams.
They were great.
They were like a goal away from the bronze medal game, and then they kind of choked in the last 2 minutes. You combine Czechia and Czechoslovakia. That's my solution to get the best.
That won't happen. I don't think.
Why?
It's just I feel like that's.
I'm praying for it. I'm here for it.
I feel like that's a poor taste for those countries. Like I feel like they would be like no.
I mean, do you remember the last World Cup of hockey?
What about it?
Team Europe.
Okay, but that's every
Team
European.
North America.
Yeah, but that's different. Like didn't Czechia and Slovakia split for political war reasons?
I don't know about war.
Like they wanted their freedom for each other, and I'm pretty sure they had to they went to war. They didn't just split for fun and games.
I have no idea, but in the 2016 World Cup, Czechia had their own team, and then there was Team Europe, and the Slovakians had to play on Team Europe.
Now that is I could see them doing something like that, like in other.
Yeah, I can't see that again because it got nasty criticism last time.
Czechoslovakia, I just I don't know. I don't think that'll happen.
It's just my solution to get the 8 best teams involved.
It's a good solution, but
because I wouldn't want to boot Germany either, but I think it would be them because they're going to use world championships to determine it. And I don't foresee Germany finishing lower than Switzerland in any of the upcoming world championships. I mean, Team Swiss has won the silver in the last 2. And then they had a really good showing in the Olympics, which was best on best.
Why do we got to boot anybody, though? Let's just get like 10 teams and give like some buys in there.
Yeah. Well,
why do we have to...
They announced 8.
I know, but that's like stupid on their end.
Yeah. Some history lesson from Aldo. Czechoslovakia split into 2 independent nations, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, on January 1st, 1993, from the negotiated process known as the Velvet Divorce.
Oh.
Together for hockey.
If they're
for hockey, that team would be so good too. Ooh, they'd be good.
Well, now that I know it's a peaceful thing that happened, then maybe they're okay with it.
I'm here for it. Because Slovakia deserves it after their performance in the Olympics. And again, World Championships is going to be used to determine who's the team that gets the boot. And I just don't see Switzerland falling out of the Big 6. They deserve it more than Czechia right now.
No, Finland will be in no matter what. They're part of the Big 5.
I'm talking Switzerland.
Oh, I thought you said Finland.
No, Switzerland deserves to be in even more than maybe Czechia right now, based on the way they played in the Olympics.
Automatic though, because they're you're not hosting in Czechia and not having them. I'd be pissed if I was them. I
agree with that.
Now, if it wasn't there, that's a different story. But because
100%.
you're hosting. Yeah.
And they've had good showings in every other.
They're not a bad team by any means.
They've had above average showings in like the last 5 World Juniors and World Championships. They won the World Championships in 2024. I stand by their Olympic. It wasn't as disappointing as it seems. But they still finished where they finished.
No, right.
So. Frank, really quickly, let's just talk about the suspension thing. Matthews takes a hit from Gudis in the knee on knee.
Gruesome.
Pretty bad injury. That was the first time that Gudis was suspended since 2019. It's
been a long time, but he is a repeat offender.
Technically, and I do think his reputation didn't help him, but also I didn't realize this. The most a player was ever given for kneeing was Matt Cook in 2014 when he was on the Wild. 9 games. So kneeing doesn't really get like these 20 game like things where even Matt Cook was like a super repeat offender.
which is
He was like
crazy.
Gudis on crack.
Kneeing is very harsh, and it doesn't seem like it and sound like it at first glance. You get bone to bone knee. Like kneeing is your knee has to be one of your strongest bones in your body. Think about it. Your
Yeah.
knee's stronger than your elbow.
Yeah, I think it's ligaments that get hurt when you
Well,
have
yeah,
knee issues.
no, you tear your MCL like he did, or
Yeah.
there's ligaments, but I'm saying your knee in general is like it could cause a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's why I think it does need to be more harsh.
Absolutely. And Matthews' agent came out and was disgusted with it just being 5 games for Gudis. Gudis wasn't in everybody's best favor either. If you remember, speaking of Czechia, he was the one who injured Sidney Crosby during the Olympics. Now Crosby has come out and called it a clean hit since then, which Sidney returns tonight, a week and a half ahead of schedule. So that's good news for him. But yeah, and then McDavid was asked about it. He talked about changing the process. Do you believe anything could be done about this with the suspension process? Matthews is done for the year. Should injury go into account of what happens with that? I'm just curious your thoughts.
Well, I used to be like, yeah, injury should go into account, but sometimes there are clean hits that you have to discipline that result in, unfortunately, longer, lengthy injuries. But I agree with McDavid that the system and the process does need to change because 5-game suspension is not enough for this type of injury. And because I think, like I said, kneeing injuries and using your knee should be considered harsher because it is such a big weapon that every person has, their knee. I think one solution you could do, I think you need to have active and former players on like a suspension committee come to these determinations because there are so many players that voice their opinions on these type of things, and these are the players that are playing with these guys and playing in the games. We could have former, current, some current. I'm pretty sure the NBA does stuff like that. Like I know Chris Paul was on a certain committee while he was playing in the NBA. I don't think that's a bad idea. It just something needs to change, and you just want to start seeing discipline mean more, so then the injuries and guys who do have malicious intent, kind of, if you really want to see like injuries slow down a lot, harsher penalties, harsher like suspensions is what I'm saying, would do just the trick for that. 100%. I'm not saying like Gudis went out there is like, I'm going to injure Austin Matthews today. I'm not saying he went out with malicious intent, but I'm just saying you could prevent a lot of this by changing the system. And I'm with McDavid, McDavid 100%.
Gudis made the Leafs look way worse than he made himself look too, which is the funniest part about the whole thing. How did not a single player go after him? He skated off the ice clean. Morgan Riley was like half in tears about it after the game. I don't know how he didn't respond to that. And, William Nylander said he didn't see it. And then if you go back and watch the replay, you see him look right at it and then go to the refs and complain about it. Like, instead of just going after Gudis. And I know Nylander's not going to, be big and tough against Gudis in terms of winning a fight or anything, but to just do nothing for your teammate. They say, Elliot Friedman says it all the time, there's a difference between a team and a club. The Leafs are a club. They're not a team. Bedard took like a half hit 2 nights ago. It was when they were playing Vegas. I tweeted it. And like 7 Blackhawks were fighting over they were fighting each other for who could fight the guy who hit Bedard. It's disgusting what's going on in Toronto. But nobody stuck up for him at all. I agree with you, and I agree with McDavid. My only pushback is how. What do? You bring up old players. George Peros, who runs the NHL player safety, is a former player.
I know, but not
a former tough guy. No,
I'm saying like relatively old. Like Anze Kopitar is going to retire. Let's put him on the board. He's playing in current day NHL hockey.
No, I get it. I mean, George Peros played till 2014. He had 1,092 penalty minutes in his 474 game NHL career. It's not like he was, not prone to this stuff. It's just, and I agree, I would put together a committee, but like it's a lose-lose situation because you give out more of a punishment, you're pissing off the team that is the offender. You don't give
Well,
enough, you're pissing off the team that is the offendee.
I don't.
Chances are either way you're pissing off both sides. It's a very hard job to have, George
I mean,
Barros.
at that point, who gives a shit if you're pissing off the team that offended? Because control your players, do better. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure this is Gudas's 5th time being suspended, 5 times, and to me, after like 5 times being suspended, you got a slap on your wrist for this kneeing injury. 5 games. If he does it again, are they going to give him 6 or 7 games? I mean, no. To me, player safety is more important. I mean, if you're going to suspend a guy like 30 games, they're going to think twice about it. It's not even going to be in his head. I think like strict, harsh penalties or suspensions like that. He's only fined 104,000 too. I mean, that's like chump change to these guys.
Yeah, I would have given him. I was in the 8 to 10 range when it first happened. That's what I would have given him. I don't think he's a repeat offender. He's also not as much of a repeat offender on paper as you think, because of like they kind of treat it like parking tickets. Like your parking tickets from 2004 don't impact you now.
Yeah.
Like they come off your record. Similar to suspensions in hockey. So I do think if he had a kneeing suspension in 2024, the penalty probably would have been even more harsh. They gave Evgeny Malkin the same number of games as Gudas for swinging his stick like a baseball bat at Rasmus Dahlin's face. And Malkin was fined for a stick infraction earlier this season. So there just really isn't much continuity with how they handle it. There also isn't a set like line of does injury matter. Austin Matthews, he's done for the season, and he probably won't be able to truly rehab on skates until middle of the summer. Well, Gudas, he's going to be back in like a couple games. So like, should it match the length of the injury?
That would be crazy.
If you shoot a guy on the street and he doesn't die, should you still not go to jail? There's that argument. Like, no, you should for attempted murder. In hockey terms, that was attempted murder, whether he got hurt or not. He did happen to die in this case. He's out for the season. You get the metaphor? Like,
yeah.
Like, and then, there are accidents too. And Gudas clearly stuck out his knee. There was clear intent with his knee there. But there are guys who have knee on knee who, when they go to get suspended, their argument is that they didn't do it on purpose. Well, if you hit somebody because you weren't paying attention in your car, you're going to get involuntary manslaughter. And I know these are like extreme comparisons, but the principle remains the same.
But I also think that you have to use common sense too. And a lot of these rules and systems don't use common sense.
Yep.
You got these older guys, they got their glasses down. They're looking at the book and they're like, well, I can't do this because, the book says I can't suspend them, so we can't do it. But I think in 2026, you have to use a little bit of common sense and kind of throw that out the window, and you have to do what's best for the players, even if it's not by a standard of a book.
Yep, and common sense tells me that Matthews not playing for the rest of the season compared to a fourth-line plug on another team is different, and I do think it should all be relative. I'm with you, common sense.
But they won't, because they have a system in a book of rule like that. But not like, you have to use common sense.
Yep.
That's my biggest thing. That's
absolutely. All right, Frank. It's time for America's favorite podcast segment of the week, Breaking Bets.
Where's my money, bitch?
Oh, the Bears are bringing back Jack Sanborn.
All right.
Nice. Frank, the floor is yours.
All right, VP. Well, we got an eventful hockey Wednesday night tonight. Ottawa Senators at the Washington Capitals. The Ottawa Senators right now are scratching and clawing and doing everything in their power to try and crack the wild card bubble. With just 16 games left in the season for the Senators, they sit just 4 points out, and they have been very impressive lately on this push to make the postseason. They're coming off of a 2-0 shutout victory against the Anaheim Ducks, a 7-4 victory over the San Jose Sharks, who we were just talking about how I think they're having a really good season this year. A postseason berth would mean so much to this young Ottawa team. And the Capitals, they've really disappointed me lately. Last week, they disappointed me on Wednesday against the Flyers. Ottawa owns the 2-0 head-to-head record in the regular season this year. So I'm going to back them again tonight and get the regular season sweep against the Washington Capitals. That's Ottawa Senators money line at minus 115. Bet to win 3 units. And then, of course, the big dance starts tomorrow, March Madness. Looking over some picks. We got TCU at Ohio State. This is the very first matchup to open March Madness 2026. Ohio State and TCU, a matchup that should be fairly good. Both of these teams are very talented, but Ohio State has definitely had the much tougher schedule this year. They're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. Ohio State is a top 20 free throw shooting team in the country. TCU is ranked 239th in free throw percentage. That is horrendous. That is a massive difference. Probably one of the biggest difference we will see in this tournament for two teams playing. And every game, especially in March and March Madness, comes down to, can you make free throws? Can you make clutch free throws? Can you close out a game? I think Ohio State will be able to do just that. They have the better resume. So I'm going to go with Ohio State money line against TCU. Bet to win 3 units at minus 142.
Very good. Very, very good. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed watching our show. It was a lot of fun. I am looking forward to this weekend with March Madness and some big NHL games. If you're there against the Colorado Avalanche on Friday, say hello. Chicago Blackhawks versus Avs. We'll see if it's Sasha Boisvert's debut. Follow me at Vinny Parisi. Maybe I'll be the one to break whether or not it is his NHL debut. I'm the one who broke that it was not going to be tomorrow. We'll see if we could get it for Friday, hopefully. Frank, you got anything else you got to say before we move?
Not a thing, VP.
And my message on the way out to the Hockey Hall of Fame, Philip Pritchard, give Jack Hughes his puck. That ain't yours. It's not your puck. You think it's your puck. It's not your puck. It should be up to Jack Hughes what happens with the puck. Give Jack Hughes his puck back. Thank you for listening.
We're talking hockey, we always win!